Good to be with you on a Sunday evening. I am Joseph Olmo. Today, history was made in America, but not the kind we will remember fondly. You see, today marks the longest partial government shutdown in U.S. history. 44 days have gone by, and still, Republicans and Democrats haven't come to an agreement on how to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Of course, the disagreement is about ICE, but since the TSA is also under the Department of Homeland Security, tens of thousands of TSA officers are caught in the middle, working but not receiving a paycheck. So when is this going to end? Tonight, that question remains unanswered because Congress just started a 2-week recess. Does that mean we will see 2 more weeks of unbearable lines at airports? Only time will tell. You see, this past Friday, President Trump signed an executive order to start paying TSA officers using existing funds. And that could happen as soon as tomorrow. Some are questioning if this will include back pay because, again, many TSA officers, they haven't been seeing a full paycheck since mid-February. That is where we begin tonight with an aviation expert who helps us understand the whirlwind few weeks we've all been watching. Clint Henderson with The Points Guy. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Thank you for joining us. So what is the deal? You know, the shutdown isn't over, but President Trump signs this executive order to finally get TSA officers paid. Do you think the worst is finally behind us? Or, you know, what can we expect now that they will start to get paid this week?
The Department of Homeland Security insists to The Points Guy that they are going to start seeing paychecks hit their bank accounts tomorrow, Monday. So I think once money starts circulating again for these beleaguered TSA workers, I think lines will go away fairly quickly. But I don't trust that it's going to be all the back pay and getting them current. So we'll have to wait and see how that shakes out. I do expect once money starts flowing that things will improve rather quickly, but I think it could still be a couple days, couple weeks. You know, if you're traveling this week, I would still take all the precautions.
And yeah, I mean, we've seen with previous shutdowns, TSA with air traffic controllers, where it takes time to get that back pay. It doesn't happen with that very first check that they get. So that's the thing that we'll be paying attention for. I'm sure you saw the lines at BWI this weekend were absolutely atrocious. I mean, airport officials came out and said they had never seen anything like that at BWI. If I'm about to fly out of any airport and I see on social media how bad the TSA lines are there, realistically, is there anything I can do last minute other than just like canceling my flight?
So what I would do immediately is call the airline and say, hey, it looks like I'm going to miss my flight. Can you put me on the next available flight? You know, you got to pay real close attention to what's happening at your local airport. That's why local news, social media is so important. Just doing a search of your airport name or checking the airport website, because it's not at every airport, right? But BWI has been really bad, particularly the last couple of days. And so if you're flying out of that airport, I would give yourself an extra 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe get there 3, 4, 5 hours early. That's what I did in Atlanta last week, just to be safe. And, you know, it could be great. You could sail through, but I would not want to miss a flight. And what you can do sometimes is you can get on an earlier flight. That's what I did in Atlanta. I got through security fairly quickly. But here's my advice. Travel on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Saturday if you can, because those are the least crowded days. And then the airline, if you do miss your flight, usually in these circumstances, they will rebook you on the next available flight.
I've said it before. It's better to have that time at the airport and not need it than need it and not have it.
That's exactly it.
Clint Henderson with The Points Guy. Thank you so much, sir.
See you.